Welcome, everyone, to Stockton, California and the Delta for WCC This Week, presented by Geico. All 10 conference teams in action here on the final Saturday of January, and the slate beginning with our Game of the Week featuring San Francisco and Pacific. Alongside Casey Jacobson, I'm Steve Quist. Welcome inside the A.G. Spano Center, where it has been a crazy week in college basketball. I had a chance to work New Mexico, Utah State on Tuesday night. It was a crazy Tuesday. All those top 5 teams falling, which will have a big impact on the conference here this week.
Absolutely. All of these losses that you see on your screen are Gonzaga's gain. The Zags are going to be the #1 team in the country. They're 3-0 versus the RPI top 25, including their big non-conference win against Arizona. And it is not a fluke, Steve. The Zags are beating opponents by an average of 23 points per game, which is second in the entire country. They're just stomping on people right now.
And you saw 1, 2, and 4 lose there. By the way, one of those 2 or 4 teams, they're playing each other in a couple of hours. Yep. They're going to lose again, so either Kansas or Kentucky is going to have 2 losses here in this crazy week. The Zags tonight at Pepperdine, they should win that game easily, setting them up nicely to move into the #1 spot. And let's talk a little bit about the Zags, because they're doing it this year with a lot of transfers.
Yeah, transfers are what is making this team go to the next level, because I feel like this Gonzaga team fits so well together, and they're led by this transfer, Nigel Williams-Goss from Washington. He's as dynamic a playmaker as Coach Mark Few has had in his entire tenure in Spokane. He's the leader in points, in assists, in steals, and in minutes. They can't take him off the floor, but they've added a lot of pieces around him as well. Here's one, Jordan Matthews, the jump shooter from Cal. He is as lethal of a three-point threat as we find in the WCC. He spaces the floor, and he can play defense too. At Cal, he learned how to play D. And then here's a guy that isn't really talked about a lot, Jonathan Williams III. Remember, Steve, just 2 years ago, this guy was playing at Missouri. He was the leading scorer for that team, but they were losing. He was shooting 41% from the field. Now he's playing for the undefeated Zags, and he's shooting over 60%. I think it was a good move by Jonathan.
I forgot all about him. As a matter of fact, Mizzou has just been decimated by transfers. Now, when you talk a little bit about the Zags here, you hear some people, some rumblings that say even though they might be #1 to start the month of February, they might not be worthy of a #1 seed. I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
No, it's crazy. You know, the critics will point to the fact that the Zags have the 72nd ranked RPI. So their strength of schedule isn't as good as it could be. But that win against Arizona is looking even better, because Arizona is going to be in the top 5 in the country this coming week.
Let's talk about this matchup here. San Francisco at Pacific, and San Francisco, after starting conference play 0-4, having lost to the top 4 teams currently in the conference, they're getting their mojo back. They're doing it with three-point shooting, and this was a team picked to finish 9th in the conference this year.
You know how excited I get about three-point shooting. When I watch the Dons, it makes me want to throw on a jersey and get out there and just start launching. Look at these numbers. They're 20th in the country in three-point field goals made. They also have 8 guys who have made 12 or more threes. They're the only team in the WCC that can say that. But I also have to be honest, Steve. Look, they're a dangerous team. When they get it going, they can beat anybody in the country. But they're also a team, you know, that when they don't shoot the 3 well, they're really inconsistent and can be beaten by anybody.
That's because they're very young under Kyle Smith, who is has been in this conference before as an assistant coach at San Diego and St. Mary's. And I had a chance to talk with him before the ball game. He's relying on 13 underclassmen this season in San Francisco.
I call them a 15 freshman. I think there's some value in it as far as their fresh, clean slate, young guys, hungry, just doing what we ask. You know, we talk about is having great attitudes, great work ethic, and really developing pride in USF.
When I break down the game notes, it's interesting to see you guys are doing everything well, including defense. I mean, the scoring defense is down 11 points this year.
Yeah, no, I think it was important. I think if we're going to get to the top of the league and compete for championships, you got to be good defensively, and it's an emphasis every day. As we talk about, we got to be able to defend and rebound and take care of the ball, and we drill it every day, and it's good to see there's some results showing up as well.
Talk to me about your reliance on three-pointers. So you guys almost make 10 a game, and that's a great equalizer.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, even at any level, I think the making 3, even see in the NBA, just it's straight math. It's worth 150% of it too, and we have good shooting. We want to space the floor and try to open up things and try to get some drives to the basket, and the shooting does that for us.
It's almost like you're a hockey team coach. You can put 3 different lines out in a game. You guys are so deep this year, and you're getting great minutes from everybody. You're one of the top teams in the country with bench minutes at almost 44%.
Well, I think it comes a little bit of the 15 freshmen and just trying to, like I said, keep it a consistent effort defensively and rebounding. So, and we play a lot of different ways. And I think as we move forward and get more established, we'll be able to different styles of play, and maybe being nimble will be our advantage.
I know you guys struggled at the outset of the start of conference play, but you did play teams 1 through 4, right? Now you're getting an opportunity to make up for it?
I don't know. I mean, I think that was a tough stretch, and going on the road at BYU and home Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and I thought our St. Mary's game at home, we started competing better, and then we had a little 3-game winning streak, and then we played pretty well for about 25 minutes last game, and they kind of stretched it on us, and so we'll see how we respond tonight after Thursday night's loss.
You know, the news isn't all that rosy here in the WCC because one of the most electric players in the conference now shut down for the remainder of the season. His career is over. We're talking about the electric guard Alec Wintering of Portland.
Yeah, you know, it's a sad story, but one of the things that I enjoy as a broadcaster in this WCC conference is guys stick around for 4 years. That's the difference between the WCC and maybe the Pac-12 and other power conferences. And we've had the pleasure of watching this young man grow in his first year and now his senior year. He got better every single year. His numbers did as well. This year, his senior campaign, he was averaging 20 points a game, over 5 assists. He's going to finish his career number 2 all-time in assists and steals. And even though his college career might be over, Steve, he has a chance when he can recover from this knee injury, of course, he has a chance to go play in Europe, maybe make some money.
Alec tore his ACL against the San Francisco team on January the 19th, an MRI a week ago today confirming the torn ACL, so his career is over at Portland. We're just getting started here, though, on the WCC This Week, presented by Geico, when we return into the segment with those knuckleheads right there to continue our coverage before Casey and I have it back in Stockton shortly.
Welcome back to WCC This Week here in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee. All 10 teams in action today. But let's check out the highlights from earlier this week. And no better place to start than with the only undefeated team left in the country, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Zags at home hosting the University of San Diego. Zags 8-0 in conference play. USD 3-5. Nigel Williams-Goss cutting backdoor. Layup is good. Game high 25 points. Gonzaga up early 8-0. Olin Carter III scoring over 16 a game for San Diego this season. Takes the dribble handoff, knocks it down from deep, led his team with 12. Great offense here. Zags picking apart that zone defense. Shemek Karnowski up top to Zach Collins for the alley-oop. Zags up 14 at the break. Second half, more of the same. This time, Karnowski is going to hit a cutting Jonathan Williams. Bucket plus the foul. Williams finished with a double-double. Later in the half, the Zags are up big. Williams-Goss drives, kick. Jordan Matthews drills it. Zags cruise at home, 79-43. They improve to 21-0. Let's move along. Randy Bennett in St. Mary's looking for their 9th straight home win, taking on USF. St. Mary's up 2 early. Joe Rahan gets the steal, sends it up court. Jock Landale finds Calvin Hermanson, who throws down the monster dunk. Hermanson finished with 18. St. Mary's down 1 here. Emmett Nahr is going to find his buddy Hermanson in transition for the corner 3. The Gales up 2. Under 10 seconds left in the half. USF down 3. Jordan Ratino pulls up, drains a 3 at the buzzer. Score tied at 30 at half. Upset making, maybe. We'll see. Second half, Gales up 5. Rayhan finds a wide open Nahr. He's going to hit the 3, and the Gales are rolling. Gales up 10 now. Rayhan leading the break. Where's my boy Nahr? There he is. Buries it. The Aussies are going nuts. Big contingency over there in St. Mary's. They win it 66-46. BYU at Santa Clara. BYU took care of business, beating Santa Clara by 30 the last time these two faced each other. First half, Santa Clara up 3. Jared Brownridge working off the screen. Game high 25 for Brownridge. He buries it. Second half, Nick Emery gets it to Eric Mika. He finishes with the dunk. More on Mika later in the show. BYU down 12. Look at Davin Gwynn. Steele goes the other way, finishes with the lay-in. BYU down 10. Santa Clara, they're up 11 here. Nate Cratch, they go 14. They're going to ice it here. Brownridge, Santa Clara wins 76-68. Last time Santa Clara beat BYU, it was 1972. Swear I was born in 72 as well. I was 1 year old at that time. Pepperdine at home taking on the Portland Pilots. Both teams looking to snap lengthy losing streaks. Pepperdine at 5, Portland at 6. Lamont Murray, the putback, beat the buzzer. Pepperdine up 6 at the half. Good tunes. Portland down 3. Nice move here by Gabe Taylor. Gets the running hook shot to go. Portland down 1. Let's jump ahead. Pepperdine up 5. Murray working on his defender. Soft roll. Murray would finish with 22 in this one. It's good times. My crew's having a great time. Pepperdine up 11. Jeremy Major, he's got space and he's going to bury a 3. More from Major. It's a major key too. 20 points. Pepperdine goes on to win 78-60. We're having fun in the boo. Pacific LMU. Pacific Tigers in LA visiting LMU. Both teams with a 2-6 conference record. Let's pick things up in the second half. It's a 1-point game. Brandon Brown spotting up in the far corner. Catch and shoot for 3. He was 9 of 11 from the field. LMU up 4. Later in the half, the lefty, TJ Wallace. He's been in studio a few times. Tough fadeaway. Cuts the lead back to 1. Ensuing possession. Trevor Manuel. Look at the little jump hook. Lions back up 3. Minute and a half remaining. Lead is 5. Jeffrey McClendon with the pressure defense. Reminds me of a young Jeff Chisover. Gets the steal and the layup the other way. That would put it out of reach. LMU holds on at home. 79-73. We are now halfway through the conference schedule. Let's take a look at the standings. No changes at the top with the Zags and Gales. Just one game separates those two. After that, the only other teams with a winning record in conference are BYU and Santa Clara at 6-3. Moving down to the bottom, Portland, Pacific, Pepperdine, all with just 2 wins. All right, let's get to a segment called Program Pop Quiz. I love this one. I got a chance to sit down with our players and coaches to test their knowledge on a few trivia questions related to their respective schools. Last week, we saw LMU get 7 out of 10. This week, we have redshirt senior Shemek Karnowski and coach Mark Few representing the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Let's take a look at how they did. All right, it is time for the Program Pop Quiz, which we are very excited about. I know this is why you guys actually came to Southern California. It has nothing to do with Media Day. All right, start with you. Are you ready? Who's your team's all-time leading scorer in the history of the program?
I don't remember his first name, but it's his last name, Knight. No.
Oh, you're going to bounce back right here. Most points scored in a single game. You can either give me who did it or the number. How many points?
I would say Will.
Dude, Burgess had 52.
Oh.
Burgess is cleaning house right here.
You gotta get
How many
Back in the day,
They gotta have like a
Welch had
post
45.
Did he have 45?
Yeah, Welch had
Yeah.
45.
We should count Welch.
Yeah.
What pick was John Stockton in the NBA draft?
Whoa. 25th.
No, Coach, you can steal because I know this has
Well,
come up.
that was 100 years ago.
I know.
Well, I thought I was gonna say 15 or 16.
16 it is.
Yeah.
Wait, we're counting that.
Yeah,
What
you got
year,
it.
Coach, did Gonzaga first make the NCAA tournament? It was in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I was an assistant on that staff, and the year was 1995.
Yes, it was. What's your mascot's name?
I don't know.
Coach, you're gonna have to I know.
Spike.
He's a legend.
Oh my God.
That was
It's easy.
served up
It's
for
easy.
you.
It's easy. It's easy. It's the live television. It's the live TV.
Coach, you have players born in 6 different countries on the roster. Name them. USA is one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're giving me one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Country, yeah.
Poland, 2, Japan, 3, France, 4, Denmark, 5.
Got it. One more.
Oh, yeah, Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
What year did your basketball program start? I'm going to be honest with you. It's over 100 years ago. It's the early 1900s. That's the only hint I can give you.
1908.
Oh, so close. 1907.
Oh my God.
How many seats does your gym have, Coach?
It truly has 6,000.
That is correct. If you can do this, I'll be really happy, and I might give you bonus points. Can you sing the first line of your fight song? You don't even know what Spike's name is, but can you sing the first line of the fight song?
I don't know. We are GU.
Hey, not bad. Coach, you know the second line?
I have no idea. I don't think.
How long you
I
been
don't
there,
think
Coach?
it's a great
Coach,
one.
just win games.
Yeah, it's
Go to
not,
the NCAA
it's not
tournament
one of
18
the
straight
all-time great fight songs. I can give you that.
Gonzaga, you guys, you're not bad. You're better on the court, but this is pretty good. The Zags. Yeah, a little bit of a shocker there. The Zags struggle a bit. Let's check out the official standings. Gonzaga all alone at the bottom with just 4 correct answers. I'm sure they'd much rather be first place in the real standings. Portland, LMU in the middle of the pack, and then sitting pretty at the top. It's still a 3-way tie. BYU, San Diego, and Pepperdine, all 3 going 8-2. Time to take a quick break, but when we return, we got a cool family story. Freshman guard KJ Smith has a promising future ahead of him. If you don't believe me, just ask his father, Kenny. Stay tuned, everybody. Congratulations to the big man in Provo. Sophomore center Eric Mika named WCC Player of the Week. The Utah native led his Cougars to 2 nice conference wins against Pepperdine and Pacific. In those 2 games, Mika averaged 19.5 points, 11 rebounds, and over 2 blocks per game. This was Mika's 3rd Player of the Week honors this season. Some more cool news. The West Coast Conference will induct its 9th annual Hall of Honor class on Saturday, March 4th at the Orleans Hotel in Las Vegas. They will honor 10 individuals, 1 from each institution. Some big names right here. NBA Hall of Famer John Stockton, his former Zag. Paul Westhead, what an amazing coach he was at LMU in the late 80s. Men and women from a wide range of sports, including soccer, baseball, and volleyball. A big congrats to all 10 recipients. Now, it's got to be tough following in the footsteps of your father when your dad happens to be a former two-time NBA champion. But for KJ Smith, his dad has been there every step of the way as he begins his basketball journey at the University of Pacific. Here's an inside look at a special father-son bond between Kenny Smith and his son, KJ. Sarah Cazell has the story.
Damon Stoudemire, the first-year head coach at Pacific, knows the importance of depth at point guard. He provided that very thing during his 13 years in the NBA. So much so that he knew one of his most important recruits would be KJ Smith, the freshman backup on this year's roster. Fortunately for Stoudemire, he already had a connection through KJ's dad.
Damon, as soon as he got the job, that night he called me. Said, hey, I need KJ's number.
That's Kenny Smith, a two-time NBA champion and an analyst for TNT's Inside the NBA. See the resemblance? As expected, the comparisons between the two have been there KJ's whole life.
Looked like his dad, KJ Smith.
It doesn't help that KJ is a point guard like his father.
It was just a lot of pressure at first, just because him being at the games, a lot of people would just, draw to him and come to our games and try to see like who his son is. So I felt pressure on myself.
But that doesn't bug him anymore. In fact, he likes to have some fun with it.
I feel like I could shoot a little better than him.
No, he's not the better shooter. I was the better shooter. He's more skilled in more areas, except for athleticism.
Kenny was KJ's first coach and eventually coached him in AAU as well.
Parents would come to me and say, you know what, I think this might work. And I said, maybe, but this actually worked in the NBA Finals.
While KJ's dad splits his time between LA and Atlanta, he continues to guide the freshmen from afar.
Before games, after games, we're about to watch film on FaceTime after this. Yeah.
I never talk about their offense, plays run. That's Damon's job. My thing is effort, energy, and decisions. But what did you see when you came off that pick and roll? And he could tell me. And then I said, well, this is what I see while you were coming off from afar. And maybe you could look at this as well.
But KJ has also found mentorship in his new head coach. Though Stoudemire, Kenny, and KJ all know the same position, Stoudemire can offer new perspective and develop KJ in a way that Kenny can't.
With Damon especially, whose pedigree is just as high as my dad's, it's awesome because he sees stuff and tells me stuff that, my dad doesn't really tell me. He sees it in a different angle. So it's really cool.
Damon was a smaller guard, so there's certain things that he did that I don't even think about. And if my son is 6'3", and if he could think about those things that Damon did, and then I could tell him the things that I did, then he's going to be a better basketball player and reach his maximum potential.
KJ has enjoyed working with Stoudemire and his staff so much that he's even considering becoming a coach.
Seeing how much the coaches put into their job, you really have to love basketball. And, I see that in what our coaches do. And so, I could see myself doing that one day.
Luckily for KJ, he already has one assistant on his short list.
He could be my assistant coach.
For the WCC This Week, I'm Sarah Cazell.
Be solid.
Great story, Sarah. Here's a look at our conference schedule for today's games. Coming up right after this, our game of the week, the Dons heading to Stockton, take on Pacific. LMU is in Provo, Portland hosting the Toreros, and then the top dogs are on the road as well. Zags and Malibu to take on Pepperdine. And then the late game, St. Mary's visiting Santa Clara. All right, that'll do it from here in studio. After the break, we are heading back to Stockton inside the Alex G. Spano Center, where Barry Tompkins and Casey Jacobson will have the call. So long, and enjoy the game, everybody.
Welcome back to WCC This Week, presented by Geico, just ahead of Pacific hosting USF from the Alex G. Spano Center here in Stockton. Steve Quiz, Casey Jacobson with you. Tigers looking to steal one from 5th place USF. So, how do they do it? What are the X factors, Casey?
Well, for USF, we have to start with Jordan Rottino. He's a 6'5 freshman who's actually been playing like a veteran for most of the season. He's got a complete game on the offensive end. If I had to pick my favorite skill that he possesses, it would be his three-point shot. He leads this team 46% from there. And he's my X factor because if he gets in a rhythm, he can change this game. And for Pacific, my X factor is Jacob Lampkin. He's a 6'9 power forward. He's from the Washington area. He's really stepped up his game, especially recently after grabbing 11 rebounds against BYU last week. He followed that up with a career-high 21 points on Thursday night against LMU. He's their energy guy, but he's got to stay out of foul trouble. He can give them a much-needed post presence tonight, Steve.
Don's looking to bounce back after getting throttled Thursday night against St. Mary's. Pacific looking to end a losing streak. They've lost 4 straight. We're back for the tip-off after this.